This is problem or 8-70, and it says the guidelines set forth by the National Kitchen and Bath Association recommend that the perimeter of the triangle connecting the refrigerator, stove, and sink of a kitchen be 26 feet or less. Lashaya is planning to renovate her kitchen and has chosen the design at right. Does her design conform to the National Kitchen and Bath Association's guidelines? Show how you got your answer. So I see the picture. They give us a triangle. Perimeter means the distance around, which means I would have to add up the three sides of the triangle to see if they are 26 feet or less. This side we already have. It's 7.2. This side I could do Pythagorean theorem and get that side pretty easy. This side I don't have, so I think I'm probably going to have to use law of cosines for that. So I set up my paper already. So I did what I said about using the Pythagorean theorem right here, and I ended up with this side right here. If you use Pythagorean theorem, you get 7.6. This side we already have because they gave it to us. We already had this angle. We're trying to find out if all these three sides add up to less or more than 26. So when I look at this triangle, I was going to try to use the law of sines, but I don't have any pairs. So I have to use the law of cosines, which means I actually don't even usually label these. I just know that the c squared part is, I always think of c as being the one that has the angle measure, because usually there's only one angle measure that you have. So, but I went ahead and labeled my triangle so that side C is across from the angle measure that we have. So I had to label it this way, A, B, C. Then I just went ahead and got out the law of cosines. If you remember, you can Google it if you don't remember, but the law of cosines says c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c. So I went in and I filled in all the values that I know. So pretty much we have all the values. Well, not all the values, but we have C is the value that we don't have. So I went ahead and just filled them all in. And I actually, because students often have trouble with the order of operations when they're using this formula, I actually worked it out. You can it's possible to just type this whole thing into your calculator and just push equals and get the right answer. But if you don't type it in correctly, that would be a problem. So I kind of just, squared this one, following the order of operations. Square this one, I got that. And then 2 times this times that equals this number here. Now what I see students doing is they want to take these 3 numbers and add them all up first. But you can't because there's a multiplication happening right here. So you can add these 2 numbers together. So that came out to be 109.6. You can see I made a mistake. And then if you put this times cosine 101 in your calculator, then you'll get, I can't remember exactly what the number was, but it was a little negative number. And then I multiplied the little negative number. Well, here, I'll do this part for you. So on mine, I'm in degree mode, and this is a picky little calculator. It wants me to type in the angle first and then push the cosine button, and it gave me this little negative number. And then what I'm going to do is multiply it by 109.44. Or you can just type this whole thing into your calculator. And it gave me this negative number. But since I'm subtracting a negative, that I know that means the same thing as adding. So I changed the sign of it so that I don't have to do any rounding. And then just add the 109.6 plus 109.6. And that gives me 130.48. I think I wrote that part out for you. and then I square root both sides, and I get C is about 11.42, and so that's, and then what I want to do is add these three things together and see if I get 26, more or less than 26. So I have a 7.6 and a 7.2 that I have to add here, and then 14, 15, 16. It looks like I'm getting a little bit too, my perimeter's a little bit too high. It's not less than 26, and so the question was asking us, does her design conform to the guidelines? And we're supposed to say no. No, because 26.22 is greater than 26, so it won't work.